Guys, before we jump into this video, I need you to do guys, before you jump, bro, this is car crash YouTube. Guys, before we jump into this video, do me a massive favor, and that is like this video and subscribe to this channel. Maybe share the video if you're feeling fruity. Let us know. Kwaku, tell them what to do.
Just it takes you less than a second. Just like this video and subscribe to We Talk Football. We are giving you the content that you need. We're giving you the content that you want. If you want football to come home, you're gonna have to like this video and subscribe to the channel.
There was some passion in that, guys. He deserves a subscription off that. Come on. Right, but let's jump in. Yes, people. Yes, people. Yes, people. Welcome back to the We Talk Football podcast. It's Gareth Southgate's biggest game of his career. England versus Denmark in the semi-finals. What are your thoughts, Kwaku?
Oh, it's a huge one. I feel like it's all been building up to this crescendo. It's been pretty plain sailing for England. I know there's a lot of detractors throughout the group stages, but we have got to the semi-final of a major tournament without conceding a goal. Obviously, people are just coming off of that high of the 4-0 win against Ukraine, which was incredible. Probably the most comfortable England game that I've seen at a major tournament. And now it's on to Denmark at Wembley, where there will be 60,000 fans in the stadium, which I think will make a massive, massive difference. And England obviously are the favourites for the tournament. Denmark are, without arguably, their best player, Christian Eriksen. And we know that the team's been using that as motivation to get them going in the tournament. They've exceeded everybody's expectation in terms of making it to the semi-finals. But there is no excuse for England. We've got the better players, got the better squad. Our manager's well-versed in tournament football. So now it's just time for the lads to go out there and perform, which I think that they will do. We've put on a good showing all the way up until this point. And now it's time to see the job through and make it our first major tournament final since 1966.
Yeah, true. Very, very, very true. Now, from a tactical standpoint, what do England need to do to come home with a win? Pardon the pun.
I think we don't need to depart from what we have been doing leading up until this game. I feel like the team kind of picks itself. There's probably one point or one position in this team that might be up for debate, and that's one of the winger positions. But I feel like the back four picks itself. Obviously, Pickford's been amazing. He had a couple of shaky moments against Ukraine, but overall, he's been very, very good in this tournament. The midfield, I think, again, picks itself in terms of Phillips, Rice, and Mason Mount. And then Harry Kane and Raheem Sterling are our senior players, and they've now both started turning up at this tournament. The only position that's in question is the position that Jadon Sancho took up against Ukraine on that wing. And people will be coming for Jack Grealish. Some people will be calling for Phil Foden. Obviously, Jadon Sancho had a couple of decent moments. I feel like that's the only position up in question. But apart from that, we have to carry on doing what we have been doing defensively, be solid, take our chances where they come. It was good to see in the last game that we scored a few goals from set pieces, because that had been one of the negative points about this team. We saw set pieces be a massive part of our tactics in the 2018 World Cup, and then we had failed to deliver in that aspect of the game up until the game against Ukraine, where we scored, I think it was 3 headers from balls out wide. So taking our opportunities when they come, be defensively solid, and overseeing or overcoming a plucky Denmark side is what's in order for the huge game on Wednesday night.
Yeah, agreed. Essentially more of the same, like you said. I think Gareth Southgate, he won't necessarily rest on his laurels, but he has a formula, he has a blueprint on how to get us to the final and potentially bring football home. And that's a pragmatic style that seems to be working thus far. You know, we're in the semi-finals without conceding a goal. I am going to touch wood on that. I'm not that I'm superstitious. But I was looking at stats. I was looking at these stats of Denmark, for example. I know they've lost Christian Eriksen, but I think in the guy that's came in for him, obviously Højbjerg, any Spurs fans would know him well. I think he's the most creative player in the entire tournament, matched with Kevin De Bruyne. I think he's created 10 shots or chances for Denmark, which is on a similar level, which is interesting because that's not something that would be conducive to his role at Spurs, but he's almost like a deep line playmaker. I think for us, in terms of us getting something out of the game, we're going to need to really be resolute from our set pieces. Denmark are a very strong, very big side. And it's going to be our centre-back and our defence, again, that is going to be have increased paramount of importance, just to essentially, because as soon as a ball is coming in there from a set piece or a corner, that it's going to be Vestergaard, throwing himself at a ball, or Christensen throwing himself at a ball. They've got height, they've got strength in the side, and they're very industrious side. They've also, I think, other than Spain, I think they're averaging the highest shots per game as well. So they are very, very attacking, and they, let's be honest, they're the first European football side first side in the European in the Euros to score 4 goals 2 games in a row, and there's no reason why they've done that other than the fact that they are there to play progressive attacking style football. And then once you add in the fact that they are buoyed by the tragic event that happened to Christian Eriksen, and it's good to see that he's doing well. You can see that is almost like buoyed a nation, and they haven't just got Denmark behind them; they've got France behind them, they've got Portugal. Anyone whose team's still not in it, they are behind Denmark. So although Wembley's going to be full of 60,000 fans, I imagine a lot of them will be cheering on Denmark as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be a tough one, and I feel like obviously our hallmark of this tournament has been not conceding goals. But from your point of view, do you reckon that maybe conceding the goal wouldn't be the worst thing in the world? Because we've seen this England squad look imperious in terms of the way we can see out games and squeeze the life out of opposition, but we've not really had to face serious adversity in terms of going the goal down. Do you think that if we do overcome Denmark, touch wood, do you think maybe seeing this England team maybe concede the goal and things not go exactly to plan might actually benefit us when we face a tougher opposition in the final if we do make it there in the form of Italy or Spain?
Well, it does pose a question. We've only seen us play on level terms or when we're ahead, trying to hold on to a slight lead. Other than the Ukraine game where we've blown them away, we haven't necessarily had to chase a game. And it does pose a question to what Gareth Southgate will do if the game is not in our control and in our hands. So you can argue, would you rather be 1-0 down to Switzerland or 1-0 down to Italy or Spain? Denmark, not Switzerland. Apologies. You can argue that you'd rather be 1-0 down to Denmark compared to a team like Spain that is just going to pass you to death, or a defensively sound Italy side who are arguably the best side in the tournament thus far. So yeah, you're right. It does. I don't want to say it throws up alarm bells, but it does pose the question that what will England do if they're not in control of the game?
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be one of the most interesting questions because like everybody expects us to beat Denmark, which is almost a dangerous mindset because I know there was a lot of questions ahead of the Germany game, maybe less so against Ukraine because they were absolutely leggy after their game against Sweden, which went to extra time. But this Denmark game is probably the first game where everybody's together, just like, yo, we can do this. We should do this. Football should come home or we should at least make it to the final. So I'm a bit cautious in terms of complacency. And like we've alluded to, when this England side faces adversity, it'll be interesting to see how they respond to that. I predict they'll just respond quite well. And I would like to see us overcome a little bit of adversity before we make it to the final. But if that is the case, I just wonder how Southgate will switch up his tactics because we understand what Gareth Southgate is as a manager. He's obviously pragmatic. He has his way of playing football. He wants to make sure that we don't lose it before we go out there and win it. And I would like to see how much of an influence someone like Steve Holland has because we've all seen the clips of him on the sideline where he's telling Southgate to take off the players with the yellow cards. And he's a coach that's very, very well versed at upper echelons of the game. Obviously, he's at Chelsea for a long time and worked under some great managers. So to see how this team overcomes adversity is going to be probably the most interesting factor of this game, if there is any adversity. Obviously, we'd all love to see us go through plain sailing 4-5-0. But I would also like to see how this England team responds if we do go a goal down.
Yeah, I was going to say that the last 5 minutes are going to be completely irrelevant because we're going to hold a clean sheet and England are going to score. How many are we going to score, Quakey? We've come away from making predictions over the last few weeks because it's just been so hard to predict. But I'm going to press you for a prediction. England versus Denmark. What's the final score?
Well, I've gone on record and said that I expect Harry Kane, before the Ukraine game, I said he was going to score 3 goals in the next couple of games, and I do expect him to score against Denmark, even though our boy Andres Christensen is going to be there trying to protect the Denmark goal. I can see Harry Kane getting a goal. I can also. It's a weird one.
Did you feel like a Denmark fan via osmosis because of Christensen when he scored that goal?
A little bit, but Chelsea have got strong representation in all the major tournaments. If you look at the Italy team and Jorginho, look at the Spain team, that's Azpilicueta. If you look at the Copa America and Thiago Silva, now they're with with Brazil. This Chelsea have got a
I
lot of
was,
players in the latter
I,
stages of these tournaments.
I was looking up my, Ukrainian and my Czech heritage. I had Yarmolenko playing the other day.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
obviously the West Ham boys in
yeah.
Southgate and Soufal. So I completely understand that, mate. So
um,
funny.
it is, and obviously, club football is the furthest thing from people's minds. But this can only be good things for teams that have got players still in the latter stages of these tournaments. But yeah, in terms of a prediction, I think Harry Kane's going to get a goal. Got a really weird feeling that Declan Rice is going to get a goal as well. I think England's going to win 2-1, and it
That's the
might
only
be.
time. Sorry to interrupt you, mate, but that is the only time I nearly lost my cool during the game when he powered up and he released that shot with venom, and
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
traveling.
yeah,
That was traveling. When that got blocked, my heart broke for him because, mate, if he
yeah,
scores
yeah.
that,
Yeah,
oh,
it would have been a madness. But I feel like, do you know, you have a weird feeling about players who are going to score goals. I just feel like Declan Rice is going to get a goal this game. And it could go to extra time. I'm going to predict a 2-1 England win after extra time.
okay, 2-1 after extra time. That means we're going to concede our first goal. Are you going to get? I might press you one further. Are we? And I'll go order of goals. Are we going to go 1-0 down, or are we going to go 1-0? Is it going to go 1-all? What? Ugh, is
I,
this too much?
I think we'll go 1-0 up. We'll concede. There'll be frustration. We'll go to extra time. And then
Oh,
we'll get the winner in the first half of extra time. 2-1
sounds like
England.
that sounds like an emotional roller coaster that I am not
Yeah.
ready for, Quaker Afari. Now,
What about you?
I'm a lot more optimistic than that. 3-0 Declan Rice hat trick. Okay. No, seriously, I think 2-0. 2-0, yeah. And I think it'll be more of the same in terms of the Ukraine game. Um, yeah, as much as I feel like we, people are diminishing the quality of Denmark. They're the 10th best side in the league. Sorry, in the world. I also do think that England are a far superior side, and if you compare the 11s, I don't know if there's any Denmark players that get in there. As a result, I feel like we're allowing too many responsibilities, too many not responsibility, but we're putting a lot more respect on Denmark's name than what they would be due typically. They're an incredibly good side. They've had a great Euros, but I'm expecting an England win, and I think that's 2-0 at least.
Right, mate. Well, if it's 2-0 England win, get all the way to the Euro final without conceding the goal, that would be absolutely incredible. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm nervous. The nerves haven't really kicked in yet. I feel like when we see the Italy-Spain game and we see the result of that and who we might potentially get in the final if we do make it there, then I think the nerves will properly kick in because it will feel a bit more real. But yeah, man,
Yeah,
it's exciting
that
time.
that is one thing. I've felt no nerves in the last two stages. From having conversations, you'll know, like the England Germany game, the entire time I felt completely fine. There was no emotion attached to that game for me. I thought we were going to go into that game and get a result. Same with Ukraine, but this one has got me going. So
Yeah,
I'm a bit more worried now, and I'm so excited for the game. So it'll be an
yeah.
amazing, amazing game, guys. And let us know your predictions down below in the comments. But Quaker, in the meantime, where can they find us?
So you can find us on YouTube. Just type in We Talk Football Podcast. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. We are gradually growing. We say that every single video, but we are.
85 subscribers, mate.
Yeah,
85.
yeah. The road to you see those YouTubers do like the road to 100K. We're doing the road to 100 subscribers. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like it. And we are going to be back with more videos throughout the Euros and as we build up to the Premier League season after the tournament's done. Make sure you like us or you follow us on Instagram at We Talk Football Podcast, on Twitter at WTF Podcast 90, and we'll be back with more videos very, very soon.
Magnifique, Quaker. Magnifique. See you later, guys.